Today, we are finally going to talk about the Plugout FX from Boss. Good afternoon. How's it going, everybody? I hope you've been doing well. If you're new here, hi, I'm Miles. I do music stuff. And today we are getting a little controversial. We're going to be talking about this new pedal from the company Boss, the Plugout FX, the PX-1. A couple weeks back, there was a series of videos put out by a bunch of other more prominent guitar YouTubers talking about this pedal and the issue that comes with it. That issue being microtransactions. And this is an issue that already is infesting the world of video games where, like, if you want to be able to win a game, you have to buy stuff in order to actually play it or get new skins for your character or just to even pass certain levels and certain bosses. It's very stupid and it's dumb. It's just dumb. And basically the claim is that this is the same thing but in guitar pedal form. So naturally in my brain, when I heard all this, I said, oh, I gotta see this for myself. I gotta see it firsthand. So I went out and got myself a PX-1. And as far as the pedal itself, it's not working from a unique or new concept. There's already other devices on the market that are doing essentially the same thing. Whether it be the iStomp from Digitech, the Plethora X1 from TC Electronics, or the HX1 from Line 6. Which is basically a smaller version of the HX Stomp, I believe. But basically what all these pedals are doing is serving as a multi-processor, multi-effects processor, but putting things in a simplified, compact enclosure so that you're able to use one effect at a time, rather than having access to multiple foot switches and multiple effects all at once. And as I said before, I went out and purchased this thing with my own money. Boss didn't send it to me, and thank goodness that's the case because I do not like this thing at all. But my reasons for disliking this thing stem more from the actual usage of it versus what everyone else has been talking about up to this point. So I want to talk about that today. So with all that said, let's see what this thing is all about. Here we go. But wait! If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Why? Because they're free and it helps this channel grow and get these videos out to more eyes, more people. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to reach more people. And you can do that for free. So help me out. Okay, back to the show. So to set the record straight, this is my third attempt at trying to shoot this video. The issues that I've run into so far is that unlike other Boss pedals where you take it out of the box, you plug it in, you get cables lined up to it, you plug in your guitar and you're ready to go and you can at least start playing right out the box, this isn't the case with the PX-1. In this case, you take it out of the box, you get everything set up, you got to pair it with your phone. And the Bluetooth doesn't act as normal Bluetooth would when you go into your native Bluetooth menu on your phone, find the device that you're trying to connect to, connect, success. In this case, you have to download the Boss app. You have to get that app. You have to be able to connect through the app. And then once you're connected, you have 6 of the available 12 effects that are already installed on the pedal itself. And unbeknownst to me, because I didn't really want to keep going back to the website to go and look at the PDF of the actual instruction manual, I didn't know that I had to do an update to the pedal in order to access the other 6 effects that are available at the moment. So, did the update, which requires you to then connect the pedal itself with a USB-C cable to a computer, where you have to download the actual files that are going to go on the pedal themselves, download the files, and then you can install the other 6 effects. It's a whole production. It was a whole thing, and like, just from a user standpoint, already I'm frustrated. Like, it was so troublesome. I had so many instances where my connection to my phone got dropped. I had to reconnect. And yeah, so far, it hasn't been an enjoyable experience using this thing. But anyway, let's talk about some of the effects that are in here. So, The first effect we're going to start with is the OD1 overdrive. So let's see. The knob to the left is controlling your level, which in this case stands to be a little bit louder than halfway being 12 o'clock. And the right knob up top is going to be controlling the amount of overdrive that's taking place. The center knob, I don't think is doing anything in regards to the OD1, which was a pedal that just had 2 knobs on it. So it would make sense that it's not assigned anything in this case. But yeah. Up next on our list is the DF2 Super Feedbacker and Distortion. So now in this case, one of the issues that I find to be peculiar about this pedal is that physically you only have 3 knobs on the front of the pedal itself. And some of the models of effects that they have built in to this pedal so far have more than 3 knobs. So depending on what the effect is, the question comes to mind of like, how are you minimizing, how are you compacting those other parameters into the parameters that are available? But I don't know. So let's see what we got here. Again, I think we can stand to have this a bit louder. Now, what I find to be curious is the feedbacker side of this particular effect. So let's see if we can figure that out. Let's try that out. I also really hope that the audio is coming through okay on the microphone to the camera, because if not, this demo is just not happening. So, as far as the feedback aspect of things, you would hold down the pedal to access that, which I think is how the original effect worked. So, okay, cool. Super overdrive. Now, the one thing I'll say that I really do like is the fact that whatever adjustments you make to each of the effects from the last time that you used it, even if you unplug it, it saves all those parameters so you can come back to them. DS1, old favorite. And then we have the DD2 digital delay. So again, this is one of those effects that has 4 knobs originally, but in this case, we're only dealing with 3, really. Okay. New guitar case came in the mail. I had to go get it before my neighbors took it or something stupid. All right. The DD2, it's one of those instances that I was talking about earlier where the original pedal had 4 knobs on it. One for level, delay time, feedback, and then I guess delay type. But in the case of the PX-1, we really only have 3 knobs to work with, in terms of achieving all those parameters. So I'm curious as to how that's going to be laid out. The way that they have it on here, we have effect level, feedback, and delay time. So as far as delay types, I guess that's not a thing that we can access. But let's see what we got. So far, it sounds great. Cool. And it's on. So, what the French toast? Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Oh my lord. Okay, so there's different delay times within here? That's weird. Okay. So we want that. Yeah, I want that. Oh my lord. What? Oh, I see. This is... I hate this. Okay. Yeah, I hate this. Do that? No, I don't want to do that. I want to go back. See, this is the other thing. Like, they put the icon for exit in the center, right beneath the center button. So one would assume, in order to exit this part of the menu, you would hit that. But okay. Apparently it's that button. Oh my lord. So this is interesting. I don't even know anymore. Sure, fine. So, if we're looking at the other effects... Oh, my connection got dropped. That's why I can't access the other stuff. That's so sick. So, my connection got dropped. We need to reconnect to the pedal. Alright, how do I get back? Yeah, okay. Right. No. How do I get back to it? Oh my god. This is crazy. I almost just want to turn it off and turn it back on. You know what? Okay, so there we go. How I got there, I don't even know. Are we connected now? No, of course not. Okay, I think we're back now. So, the OC2. That's our octave effect. So you got octave 1, octave 2. Just crank it all the way. I have to remember to actually turn the pedal on when I switch from one effect to the next. So that's kind of on me. But yeah, that's a whole thing. You see how many times I gotta turn the knob to get it to go down to 0. Like, it's a lot of times compared to the normal boss experience. tracking sounds sick. I honestly like it. I like that it's not perfectly tracking, and it's got like that glitchy effect to it. I think that's cool. Anyway, moving on. CE2 chorus. Let's see. You get it. PS2, digital pitch shifter and delay. So this is a curious effect because again, we got 4 knobs, and I'm not sure how they're gonna divvy all that up. Oh boy, I really don't understand what this is saying. Balance and feedback. And the second knob, the top right doesn't do anything apparently. Okay, so it's nothing like that. And what does balance mean? Okay, so that's just the difference between wet and dry. Using a term like balance is odd, but okay. So, okay. I feel like this is supposed to be able to do other stuff, but I don't know. Opposite of the OC2 as far as effects are concerned. In this capacity, it's just going to give you a higher octave versus a lower one. Okay. Pressing forward. PN2, tremolo, and pan. Now, it's worth noting that you can run the PX-1 in stereo. Considering all the problems that I've had up to this point, I didn't bother setting up another cable to run it in stereo. I kind of don't care anymore. But yeah, you could do that. And so when you have effects like this tremolo pan, you can have it running so that your tremolo is panning back and forth between left and right. So that's cool. Now, okay, I see what's going on here. So in this case, the top right knob is changing what type of effect you have to work with as far as your tremolo, and then pan being a separate thing. But I would assume they're kind of the same thing. But I whatever. Doesn't matter. So, since we're in mono, stick with that. Anyway, moving on. The VB2 vibrato. Ta-da! The sound of motion sickness. Okay, then we got our phaser, PH-1. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. BF2 flanger. then we start getting into the other effects that are supposed to be like the real selling point of this pedal. So we have the slow gear, the SG-1. Now, I've never messed with a slow gear before. Trying to understand how you would set this thing. To get the most out of it. Because I really don't get it. Like, does the sensitivity need to be lower? Okay. So, let's set it to 0. Let's just go full tilt with it. The attack... Okay, so... It's like a dynamically controlled swell for your guitar signal. Like, I get it, but... From what I understand, a slow gear was meant to be modeled after the technique that Eddie Van Halen would do, where he would use a delay pedal and would do swells, playing notes, and then, you know, going in conjunction with the volume knob that he was rolling up and down with his pinky. That's what I've understood in the past. So I get that, and I'm sure in conjunction with a delay pedal, it sounds cool. But it's very much like a one-trick pony. Like, if I had my hands on a real slow gear pedal, I'd probably be excited about it for about 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Call me jaded. Anyway, moving on. The TW1, T-Wah. So this is our dynamic auto wah. Now, let's see. Drive. Okay. Interesting. Now, if I put the sensitivity down on this, what happens? Nothing. Okay. Interesting. There we go. Okay. Interesting. Like, I could see myself getting really sort of immersed in messing around with this particular effect. I feel like there's just more to do with it. But that's just me. Maybe that's the Guthrie Govan fan in me. Anyway. Up next on our list is the CS1 compressor sustainer. I can't speak. It's a compressor. It's fine. What I am curious about is this SP1 Spectrum. So, from what I understand, the Spectrum is supposed to be sort of like a boosted EQ in a way, where it's seeking out specific frequencies and boosting them. I mean, okay. If you want like some weird sound, like to me that sounds like a wah pedal that someone didn't turn off, but it's like just kind of like half cocked. And you can hear it as a change. My thing is like, why was this a pedal? doesn't seem like something that like really has a need that dire that it needs to be an isolated effect that you would put in your signal chain. But I don't know. It's different times now. I have so much stuff on my computer, so I'm literally jaded. I'm just like, oh, that's it? That's all it does? As far as additional effects from here, there are none. The only ones that we have are the ones that are listed on here. And so you can go through, you can look through all these different ones once you do the update. Don't forget that. And supposedly at some point they're going to make other ones available. But in all honesty, I don't know if I'm going to make it that far. We'll see. Anyway, let's hear what else I have to say about this thing. Here we go. So functionally, once you jump through all the hoops and over all the hurdles you need to get this thing up and going, it works. Mostly. What I found to be strange is that while it comes with 16 effects that are readily available for this pedal, it only has 8 of them installed when you first get it. You have to download and install the other 8 individually once you do the update and do all this other stuff, and then you have to download them. But like, there's no reason for it. I know there's speculation by a couple other YouTubers out there about why this is the way that it is, but I don't know. I think it's too early to say for sure. By the way, I'm going to leave links down below in the description for those other videos so you can check those guys out and give them a view. But yeah, you have access to 16 individual effects on this single device. And although you can see from the images that some of the effects that are included, the device itself has more than 3 knobs, you can basically get by with the 3 that you have available on the PX-1. The thing is, my question throughout the entire time that I've been using this thing has been lingering in the back of my mind, and that question is, who is this for? Realistically, for what's available out in the world, if you want to get your hands on a chorus pedal, why wouldn't you just do it? Like, is there really a necessity for a chorus on this device when you can get a chorus pedal from JHS for $100? This is $250. So why wouldn't you just get the effect that you're looking for if that's something that you really want? And when it comes to the rarer, like more sought after effects that were like the initial selling point for this pedal, I found them to be kind of underwhelming. I imagine there's some other device out there, whether it be a multi-effects processor or an amplifier that has built-in effects, that has some sort of slow gear effect built into it that you can use. And in those instances, just like with the slow gear on here, you're probably over it after 5 minutes. The slow gear effect, from what I understand, is modeled off of a technique that Eddie Van Halen would do with his guitar, where he would take the volume knob and roll back on it while using a delay pedal and do these series of swells while playing single notes, and it would give this certain sound that people were seeking to get on their own guitars. But, you know, without having to do any actual work. Guitar players, am I right? So realistically, you could just learn how to do the technique and then you could save some money on a pedal that does the thing for you. Or you can just go and get a pedal that does it. There's definitely another company out there that's making a slow gear. If there's 8,000 million tube screamers in the world, there's definitely another slow gear copy out there. But that's just a slow gear. What about the Spectrum? Up until using this pedal, I didn't know what a Spectrum pedal was. And now I have a better understanding of what it is, and basically what it is a boosted EQ. Okay, just get a boost pedal and an EQ pedal. You can get both those things from a company like Donner for under $100, maybe under $50, probably. So I don't know. I don't know if it's really that appealing of a selling point. I certainly don't think so. When it comes to utilizing effects, I'm the type of person that when I come across something that really catches my ear, it's an effect that will inspire me to want to create something new. New music, new sounds, just something. And that's a driving force that could come from the right type of effects, depending on what they are. Just like different sounds. I know recently I got my hands on the Archetype Misha Mansour plugin from Neural DSP, and almost immediately I was like, oh, okay, because the sounds that are available in that library of stuff within that plugin, it's unique, but it's also usable and inspiring. So it was worth the money. This, on the other hand, I'm not so sure just yet. And if the Spectrum and Slow Gear are supposed to be the selling points for this thing, I don't think it lives up to the hype, just based on those effects alone. And again, we live in a world where we have devices already on the market that have more parameters, are more expansive, and are doing more things than this device is doing. Today, you can get your hands on an amplifier from Positive Grid that not only has built-in effects along with it just being a great sounding amplifier that's usually pretty small and surprisingly loud, but also you can incorporate your phone via Bluetooth and like select things, make presets, and do all this stuff from a device that not only has the effects, but is also an amplifier. Like, that's already a better product. It's already doing better than this. And I think it probably costs about the same depending on which model you get. And from my experience, those other devices are more trustworthy. You saw from the demo, there were instances where my Bluetooth signal connected to the pedal would just get dropped. And I don't see someone using this in a live setting and actively switching to different pedals, like between songs or something like that. But still, if you decide to be that person, you want to be that crazy person, it's going to be a hard task to fulfill. Like, I wouldn't trust this in a live setting. Now, you may have noticed that up until this point, I really haven't talked much about the microtransactions side of this pedal, and that's simply because at this very moment, there aren't any. The 8 effects that you can download after you do the update, they're already associated with the pedal. They just simply weren't installed on it leaving the factory. Which, again, why? And there's a likelihood that once they start rolling out new effects come January, I'll probably revisit this pedal, but in the meantime, I don't even have an interest in using it again. It's hard to get excited about a device that, when you take it out of the box, especially when it's from Boss, you can't just plug it in and start using it. I was already annoyed because the instructions, they're not a physical book anymore. You have to scan a QR code, then go to the website, or you can look up the website on a computer, and then you got to look it up through their library of instruction manuals in the form of PDFs. You have to do the update. You have to connect this to a computer with a USB-C cable. It can't be a USB-C to regular USB 3.0 or whatever, because that didn't work for me. And only then you can download the other 8 effects. Like, there was just a lot of stuff to do, and it was enough stuff, it was enough trouble to go through to get up and running that by the time I didn't even care about this anymore. And the selection of effects that are in here, they're not really like anything that's gonna grab me personally as a consumer. Like, the audacity to put a compressor on this as an option. Like, why? Why? What's the point? But in addition to the selection of effects being limited, the controls are also frustrating as well. If you know anything about the effects that all the different presets in here are based off of, you have instances like the DD2, where going through you have your volume level of your effects, of your delay time, feedback, and then that 4th knob is delay type, like duration of each delay that you have option to choose from. You could do that here, but it's a real pain to do, and I don't understand how to navigate all the different items as far as the individual effects. So, very frustrating. More frustrating than it would be to just use the pedal. Or just get a different delay. Like, you could get a DD8. I remember when they first announced the PX-1, looking at the picture and wondering, is the enclosure made of plastic? Because this feels very unserious. Even if I was a novice and I was just messing around, it's too much trouble to mess around with this thing. It's not even fun. Like, if it was straight out of the box, easy to use, and you had access to like weird stuff that you otherwise wouldn't have access to, I could see there being more of an appeal. And maybe that's going to be something that comes further down the road. But right now, I'm underwhelmed. In conclusion, if I was to look at this from a positive angle, you could view the Plugout FX as almost like a sampler pack of effects that you can get from the company Boss. Like when you go to a diner and order a sampler plate, it's got a little bit of everything on there. And if you find an item amongst the group that you really gravitate towards, the next time you place an order, you can get that specific item, but the full size of it. And that's what I could see being the case with the Plugout FX. You come across an effect that you're like, that's really cool, but I wish I could be a bit more flexible with the parameters. Like the octave pedal, like stuff like that, or the delay, or the pitch shifter effect that's built in here. Like if this inspires you to go out and get the real thing or something similar to it, then cool. I think that's a decent use for this pedal in that case. Now with all that said, I don't like the idea of potentially having to pay money for future effects to put onto this pedal that I don't necessarily own. I feel like if I'm gonna spend money on something like that, I would just rather go and get the actual pedal. But maybe that's just me. However, when it comes to this device, just as a concept, I think I dislike this more. This pedal has been staring at me from my desk for, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks that I've had it. It's just been sitting here because every time that I've tried to use it, I get frustrated. And then when I look at it again, never is there a thought in my head of like, maybe I'll plug this in and mess around. I don't wanna. It's too much. It's too much. And once you get things up and running, I don't know, like I don't see any appeal to it anymore. This is gonna go on the shelf back there. And until they start releasing some new stuff, it's probably gonna stay there. So, you know, enjoy the shelf till January, I guess. If you take any other pedal from Boss, as soon as you take it out of the box, more than likely you'll be able to just step on it and start playing and know how to use it to at least some degree. Even the more complex stuff, even the loopers, even the multiprocessors, like they're all constructed in a way where you as the user don't have to initially sit down and read a bunch of manuals and go through a bunch of initial steps to get things going. And if Boss was being thoughtful with this pedal, they would have just put all 16 things on here to begin with. They'd make it known in the instructions that you can like delete stuff to install future new items. But in the meantime, you got 16. If you want to take some of them off in the meantime, you can do that as well. But instead, they required you to do an update and then download 8 effects individually, one by one. So yeah, I think Boss jumped the gun with this one. It doesn't feel like a finished product, if you will. And I can't picture in my head who would be a good match for as far as a product is concerned. So yeah, I don't know, but I would love to know what you guys think about it. If you love it or you hate it, if you have one of your own and I want to know your feelings about it, or if you're in the market to get your hands on one yourself, and if this video has become a deterrent from you buying it, let me know in the comments. And that's all I got for you guys for today. I thank you for spending some time with me talking about the PX-1. I hope that people understand that when I do reviews of equipment on this channel, it's not always going to be positive. There's going to be instances where I'm going to have a real negative response to a piece of gear, and I'd rather be honest with you guys than try to like find some way to find a silver lining amongst all the dark clouds. In this case, it's not great. I think there's potential to it. I think Boss can turn things around depending on how they move forward come January when they start introducing new effects for this pedal. But in the meantime, If I had to give it a rating from 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 4. But that's just what I think. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And with that said, that's all I got for you guys for today. Again, thank you for spending some time with me today, and if you like what I'm doing here and you found today's video to be interesting and informative, and you haven't already, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Again, they're free, they help the channel, they help me out, and you'd be the best person in the world, and you could carry that with you all the way to the bank. And if you like what I'm doing here and you want to support further than just liking and subscribing, down below in the description I'll have a link to my Patreon page where you can check out the perks that are attached to your commitment over there. Big shout out to my patrons that are already on board with what I'm doing here. I appreciate you guys. You help make these videos possible. And I appreciate you guys forever and ever and ever. And yeah, more stuff to come soon. I'll be posting more to Patreon, so if you don't want to miss out on that, go check it out. So that's it for today, everybody. I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, you guys stay safe, keep playing. Peace.